Welcome to Toyota Tacoma's brother, because for today's car you're going to need the Forza Horizon 5 Car Pass, which sadly costs extra on top of the base game. But today we're taking a look at the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro from 2020. This thing boasts 381 brake horsepower, 401 foot-pounds of torque, while weighing a staggering 5,640 pounds. This thing's very, very heavy indeed. And at the start of the video, I did call this thing the brother of the Toyota Tacoma, and it pretty much is. In fact, I think if anything, the Tundra might be the stronger one of the two. I've got to say though, they do look quite similar, although to be fair, this one still also makes me think a little bit of the front of one of the new Dodge trucks. Going to the inside, there really isn't that much difference between this and the Tacoma, but you do have a wonderful touchscreen in the center. And now let's go ahead and take a listen to this thing. So here we are now over in the upgrade shop. We're going to jump straight over to conversion and straight over to engine swaps to see what we have. We've got a few for this thing. We've got ourselves the 6.2 litre V8. We've got ourselves the 6.7 litre V8 turbo diesel. We also have ourselves the racing 3 litre inline 6 turbo known as the modified 2JZ. We also have the option to shove in the 4.8 litre V10 straight out of the Lexus LFA. And of course we have a racing 7.2 litre V8 to boot. From stock this thing's all wheel drive, but you can go ahead and make it rear wheel should you wish to. And if you want to chuck on some twin turbos or a supercharger, you can do that too. Going over to aero and appearance, things get a little fun here because we've got ourselves a giant winch for the front. Going to the back, we have the option to add a little bit of a spare tyre, which I think might be a bit small for this thing. We have two options for the side skirts. We've got ourselves, well, a little side step here, or the option to have, I guess, like weirder looking side steps. I don't know, they're all steps to me. And then we go to the bonnet where we have the option for the ARB street bonnet, which adds a little snorkel to the side. Whether it actually makes any difference, I don't really know. But now let's go ahead and take a look at this week's rally spec tune from Mac. Let's go ahead and actually bring up the share code of that really quickly. There it is. Feel free to go ahead and grab that for yourself. We're going to go ahead, download and install and see what we got to work with. So with the first upgrades, we are now at 4,163 pounds with 850 brake horsepower all the way at the top of A class. So those upgrades applied. Here we are now over in the paint shop. Sadly, we've got nothing for advanced, but going over to manufacturer colors, we've got a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4 for this thing. And I've got to say, I do like the green because the rest of them are a bit, well, what we like to call a bit bland and basic. So it's nice to see something a little different. Now, sadly, as much as I am surrounded by Toyotas here in the UK, there's quite a lot of them. The Tundra isn't one of them, sadly. In fact, it's quite a rare pickup truck in the UK. And we'll talk about numbers and stuff in just a few moments. But I've got to say, it is one of those I would actually like to see in person, just to see what it's like. In the meantime, though, it does look kind of cool in game. So let's see if it can race just as well as it looks. And away we go. And funny enough, to our right is another member of pretty much the same family as this with the little Toyota 4Runner there. I did a video on the 4Runner a long time ago, so if you have seen that video, do go ahead and let me know. If not, hopefully it might be linked somewhere in this video for you to have a look at. By the way, if there's any other cars in this game that you think I should make a video on, do go ahead and let me know. For now, let's try and focus on getting the Tundra from last all the way up to first, because at the moment we're 17% into the race and we're already up to 5th. Okay, never mind, make that second. Now, while we're chasing down first place, I said roughly about having a look at the numbers of this thing, and well, in terms of manufacturer numbers, Toyota haven't actually officially released how many of these were made. If you do happen to know, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. But the official figures of these haven't been released. And if you want to find one in the UK, they are also extremely rare because I've had a look just before filming this video and I've only found one for sale. I mean, to be fair, the price wasn't too bad, but only one for sale is absolutely mad. The price of this, by the way, was £37,414, or this in US dollar. In the meantime, through into first place we go, past the, oh god, it's an EV Hummer. Wait, is that thing catching me? Oh, that's catching. Hold on. Right, let's try and stick our foot down. The finish line is just there. It's going to be a very close first and second, but thankfully, I think we might have just about done it. We have. That was close, and with a time of 2 minutes 19. And now we go from racing vehicles to voting for them because it's time to take a look backstage. This week we've got ourselves a massive sea of blue because to our left we've got the Hyundai i30N and the Audi TTRS in 2020. Now, I've got to say, it is quite a matchup this week, so who's going to get the vote? Well, there's the Jaguar over the side. I'm a Brit. It's got to happen. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, though, we're going straight back to the Toyota Tundra with a very interestingly named sad drag spec tune from Mac. So let's go ahead and once again bring up the share code of that. There it is. Feel free to grab that for yourself. We're going to go ahead, download and install, take a look around and see what it's got to offer. So with these upgrades, we're now looking at £4,222 with nearly 1,400 brake horsepower. So this should be interesting. Right, Right, here we are now over at the edge of the festival, and I gotta say, the rims match the colour of this thing very nicely, but it's time to go ahead and take a look and see if we get a wheelie check out of the Toyota Tundra, and today was a massive no. I guess that's the only problem with having something that's £4.2 thousand. Wait, not price. Do you know that time when you think something's going to be foreshadowed? Yeah, that's that challenge card. Right, let's go ahead and get on to the good old launch control, and away we go with the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro from 2020. 4,222 pounds of weight, 1,400 brake horsepower. What are we going to get from this thing? I genuinely don't know. Through the camera at 177, and off the end of the drag strip at 195. That is horribly slow. But wait, there's more. No, we're not making this thing any slower, but we are about to have some fun with a little fun build that Max put together. Again, here's the share code. Feel free to go ahead and grab that for yourself. But we're going to go ahead, download and install it, and I'm going to show you this thing's little party trick. So this thing's party trick relies entirely on me remembering how to do this, and I think, there we go. There's a little bit of a tune that makes you do this. You can turn your truck into a little bit of an acrobat. As to why you want to do it, I don't know, but apparently you can, because who needs physics, right? Okay, now I think that passes the wheelie check. Okay, back to normality we go. Right, all that out of the way, it's now our turn to have a little bit of fun with this thing, so we're going to jump straight to conversion over to engine swaps. We're going to chuck in the good old racing 7.2 litre V8. We're going to go ahead and actually keep it single wheel drive, and we are going to go ahead and slap in some twin turbos. And while we're at it, we're also going to go ahead and up the power even more. Why, I hear you ask? Well, very good question. We're going to try and attempt to make this thing a little bit of a top speed build. I don't know how it's going to work, but I guess we're going to try our best. And weight reduction, yes please. Right, there's a bunch of upgrades. Let's see if it's done any good. Although before we do that, we've got a couple of things to do. First of which is to tune this thing. And then it's off to take a look at this week's Forza shop, which consists of the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera, a backstage pass, some fancy looking crew socks, the Bentley Bentayga, another decorated t-shirt over here, the Horizon Super Wheelspin, and a regular Horizon Wheelspin too. And now, out to the motorway we go. Right, now put down a little random pin on the motorway, and as it turns out, we nearly got to the grate. Again, so close, but so far. In the meantime, here we are now on launch control for the second time in this video, and away we go. Not too bad of a launch from this thing, considering it is insanely heavy, but it does then again have quite a lot of power, so hopefully that might help us here. Or at the very least, I'm hoping it will, because let's face it, this thing wasn't exactly quick as a drag build. And out of speed zone we go at 219.21. We still have the downhill and speed camera to go, but considering this thing's 6th gear is practically useless, I'm not holding out much hope. Okay, the camera should be up here somewhere. In fact, there it is, 223.87, going downhill now, 226, 227, 228 out of this thing, nearly 200, in fact there it is, 230 miles an hour out of the Toyota Tundra. Right, where's our normal motorway sign? There it is, on the brakes we go, down through the gears, handbrake on, let's try and get stops before the sign. You know what? That's actually not too bad, especially in something this heavy. Right, one more challenge to go. And it is, of course, to make a truck do the least truck thing it can and go drifting. So let's go ahead and chuck this thing in here and see just how well we do. Considering we're down into second, I'm not holding out much hope, but we still did get 39,157. Quite frankly, I'm surprised we got that much. Now it's time for round number 2, going back the other way at 39,000 points. Let's try and see if we can get anywhere close. Hopefully we can. In fact, it looks like we might just be able to 38,138, which again, considering this thing is also quite surprising. In the meantime though, that is the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. I've got to say, it's very good as a stunt truck, so if you want something to just park up with and show off with, then, well, you saw what happened earlier. But if you want it for anything else, aside from A-class dirt racing, it's really not worth it. In the meantime though, while I send this thing through space and time itself, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Feel free to go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And as ever, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Tech out. See ya. Fun fact, this was filmed after tomorrow's video.